In my heart, I believe that all things happen for a reason. I'm at K State for a reason. I have my K State family for a reason. Dave was taken for a reason. And I can go on because of my kids, because of my faith, because of my second family, K State, and those aren't empty words. I've woken up and seen a whole group of Silver Key students outside raking my yard. I've woken up and had volunteers, student athletes, Greek life, people that don't know each other who just got together and said, let's go help Dr. Welch. Does she need her furniture moved? Does she need help cleaning out closets? Does she need help? And I've, never tweeted, hey, can anybody come help me move? It's just, there's just this pervasive feeling on campus that we are family. I didn't make a meal for 4 months. Students brought meals to this house. They had a sign up sheet I didn't even know existed. They had a sign up sheet to take my kids to piano lessons and to guitar lessons and to all their sports things. And I didn't even know that sign up sheet existed. They just organized that on their own. And that's how we got through it, And I know to this day my kids still look up to certain students and certain athletes that we had at Kansas State during that time that just, you know, took them for a Diet Coke, took them to Sonic, just mentored them when they were at a very scary place in their lives. So everything happens for a reason. I have spoken at universities all across this country, and there is just something different about Kansas State. And I know we call hashtag family, that's a big thing on Twitter. But you really have to be here to experience it. You really have to be here. Even in my classes with 1,000 students, not as much today because I'm aging, unfortunately. But I really tried to get to know, if there was a class of 500, I really tried to get to know all of their names. And I really did a fairly good job at it 20 years ago because I never wanted a student to just feel like a number. I wanted them to feel that they had purpose. But I think at K-State, we have a philosophy, and I think part of it is our Midwest value system. But I think part of it is that many of us are here more to see our students succeed than we are to here to see us succeed and go on to bigger and better things. And I think that's why there are so many of us that have chosen to stay when we could have gone on and made much more money at more prestigious types of names of schools. How I use Twitter, one, you can tell if I'm writing a book because I get very bored and I just jump on Twitter just to entertain myself. Two, I have a very sarcastic sense of humor, which if you don't get it, you unfollow me instantly, which is why I have so many unfollows every day. It's just kind of a way to entertain myself, but I know I can reach students. I know I can get to them. I know I can say serious things like, hey, this is due, this is due, this is due, don't forget it. I just know that it's the fastest way to reach the students. So if I need to get a message out to my students, I know that they're on Facebook and Twitter before they check their email. Because I'm on Facebook and Twitter before I check my email. I just think it's a way to connect with your students. Like, I'm human too. If I'm having a cruddy day, you're going to know about it on Twitter. Um, if I'm having a remarkable day, when my grandchildren were born, you know, that's going to be on Twitter. Twitter was extremely important in when my husband was missing. And the students did not know why I was not on campus. I was on campus one day and all of a sudden disappeared. And nobody knew why. So I took to Twitter because I knew, you know, help me find my husband. And I have students from all over the country, you know, that have graduated and are alums, and they were looking for him in New Mexico and, you know, I mean, all over the place. So I use Twitter in a lot of different ways, but mostly because it's entertainment to me, and that's probably wrong, but, you know, am I inappropriate? Yes. Do I censor myself? If you only knew how many times I erase a text before I text it, you know, delete, delete, delete. And then I'm like, huh, whatever. It's going out there. Have I ever gotten in trouble for a text? Every day of every week. Every day of every week. But, you know, it's my private account and I have a First Amendment right. I have been a professor in the School of Family Studies and Human Services since 1999. I teach mostly undergraduate classes. I have a real passion and commitment to mentoring emerging adults. I think it's a real critical phase in the lifespan. So because of that, I've always stuck with teaching entry-level courses, Intro to Human Development, which usually runs about 1,000 18-year-olds every semester. The human sexuality class, Intro to Marriage and Family. So I tend to stick to intro level sophomore, freshman classes because that's such a critical period when they enter college. You know, I've been asked that so many times, what's my favorite part of teaching as they're coming through? And I think one is when they first get there on campus, I can't explain it, but there's something that forever I will always love about our university. And that is that week before class, that weekend before class, and maybe I'm driving to campus to get something set up and watching students walking around campus with their maps. I love that. There's just something about it, and I just feel like you're home. You just don't know it, but you're home, you know? And there's an innocence to it. And they walk into this classroom with 500 students, and some of them came from hometowns that don't even have that many people in it. And they're so afraid, and just to put their mind at ease and let them know, you know what, learning is tough, but it can be fun. And we're going to have a lot of fun along the way, but we're going to blow your mind along the way, you know, make you step out of your comfort zone, make you step out of what you've always thought you've known. And honestly, I probably couldn't have said this 20 years ago, but I can say it now. There's a mothering factor to it. There's just something about being able to mentor them at very crucial steps. Many of them don't know what major they want. They've always thought they've wanted to do something maybe since they were a second grader. And they get to the university and they're exposed to different classes. And then it's, wow, I could do this and I could do this and I could do this. And it's being in a position to sit down with them for an hour or two or however long, you know, and say, well, have you thought about this or have you thought about that? And it's really exciting knowing that, you know, you make that difference in their lives.